questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
May I please have a motion to receive all of the delegations that have been made at this meeting, moved by Councillor Whitehead, seconded by Councillor Ferguson. All those in favor? Carried. Councillor Whitehead, you have a motion, something there.
Yes, a motion. I believe that there was a lot of thoughtful presentations today, Madam Chair, and there's some to digest. It's been a long day, and we have the EA report in front of us in debate, so I'm going to move that we move that off to the next council meeting for disposition and debate. And second by Councillor Partridge.
Okay, we have to speak to that matter, Mayor Eisenberger, just before Mayor Eisenberger, Councillor Marula, was it Councillor Marula? And Councillor Marula and Green? Thank you. Councillor, Mayor Eisenberger first.
Thank you, and I'm a little perplexed. So we have not yet had a presentation from our staff. Clearly we need to hear from them. There's a lot of information shared, a lot, in my view, misinformation shared, lots of questions asked. I mean, clearly we need to hear from our staff and be able to ask questions. And, you know, it's Councillor Whitehead, I recall, was the one that said he needed time so that he could deliver questions to our staff and have that then come to us at an appropriate time. And this was the day. So I'm not sure why we're holding all of that off. And we can't do all of that at council. So there's no interactive process at council in terms of dialoguing with staff on a whole bunch of questions, including all the other Metrolink staff that have been here all day, our own LRT staff. I mean, it just makes no sense to defer this without having a complete and thorough discussion with our staff. And then, if you want to defer the decision, I'm not happy about that, and I'm not going to support that. But I sense, that's probably where you want to go. But it makes absolutely no sense to not have a full interactive dialogue with our staff and a full presentation from them and opportunities for all of us to ask questions. So,
Madam Chair, if I can shorten the debate, the motion is in regards to the debate and the actual vote. But as far as the presentation, I have no problem having the presentation go forward.
Okay, well, I mean, so speaking to I'm happy to hear that. I'm not going to support a deferral. I'm not sure what the rationale is for a deferral on a vote. Everyone's been here and engaged, so I'm not sure what the rationale is, but council will decide ultimately. But clearly, happy to hear that there's going to be a full presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I just want clarification. On the table now is a motion, and the Mayor just spoke to a motion to allow the presentation and then defer discussion after the presentation. Is that what I'm hearing?
The motion has been changed to allow the presentation to go forward. The discussion, debate, and vote would be pushed off to immediately to the next council meeting. Yeah, well, that's the debate side and the vote. The questions is the presentation which we're dealing with now.
Okay. Why don't we have a clarification on the motion so we all understand what we're speaking to? Or Councillor Green, did you want to speak to that first?
Yeah, no, it's a procedural question. We're not at motions. So I'm not sure how he jumped the queue to put this motion forward when that's item number 9. We haven't even hit our discussion items yet. To even allow him to be on the speaker's list to move the motion from a procedural perspective seems suspect.
Madam Clerk?
Point of order, Madam Chair. The issue is that the reports are before us, and any report that's before you,
it's not reports, it's delegations.
Well, we finished with the delegations. Any report before you, this doesn't fall under the motions at the end of the meeting. This falls in our procedural process in determining the disposition of those particular issues. I have moved a motion duly, seconded by Councillor Partridge, that the debate discussion, not the questions, just the debate discussion and vote would be pushed off to the next council meeting.
Thank you for that. Just to clarify, Councillor Green, I believe that we had already accepted the delegation, so that we were on to item 8.2, Councillor.
8.2? We didn't have item 8.1. We haven't.
Yes, we did.
Sorry, we didn't have.
Yeah, we did it this morning.
Yeah, you're right. So,
yeah, we can continue. Sorry, Councillor Green.
I'm just wondering at what point in time did he have himself on the speaker's list to be able to jump item 8.2 and move the motion before it was presented?
Madam Clerk, we had to deal with item 8.2, which is the motion to deal with item 8.2.
But how do you put it before the presentation? Don't you have to receive the presentation and then put
No.
the motion?
Madam Clerk?
The presentation wasn't separate as a separate item number 7. It was part of 8. So when we moved on to 8.2, my understanding Councillor Whitehead was making a motion on that
Okay.
item 8.2.
Okay, now did you want to continue on that, Councillor Green?
it's been
Councillor
clarified
Farr,
by
would you
the
like to
clerk.
speak to that?
So if I can get the mover to
Sorry,
clarify.
I missed Councillor Marola.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Okay, so just to clarify, as long as the chair accepts the motion, it can be accepted at any time, which I believe happened. Now, I believe what Councillor Whitehead is saying is that he wants to put forward a motion, he wants to put it out there, which has been seconded, that upon completion of the presentation, that it be deferred, that the debate and the report be deferred till next week. I'm not supporting that, but I believe that's what the motion is. Having said that, we should probably allow staff to present now, and then it can be deferred and we can vote on the deferral at that point. So I'd like to move that immediately, and then we can go from there. Thank you.
I'd like Councillor Farr, he has an opportunity to speak. And then Mayor Eisenberger.
I mean, you just got to do a 360. You got to look around and then appreciate that we should probably be dealing with this, even if it takes us till midnight tonight. And I'm a closet Leaf fan. But this is way more important than Game 4.
No.
And I will also note that it was, the very people that are moving this that said things like, bring your pajamas, it's going to be a long day. This is something we asked for, these monthly meetings. This is already a tabled meeting, so I just can't support it out of respect for the people that have been hanging in there, let alone the councillors who want to deal with this today, who've been hanging in there as well.
Thank you. Mayor Eisenberger?
So in the same way, and I just want to understand the rationale for doing this. So, I mean, the mover, I would assume, has a thought process as to why he's moving this to council. I'm not understanding what it is. Could he share it with us in terms of why we would want to defer this today? And I, fully agree with, we're going to get that. But he wants to defer a vote, and I want to understand. I want to understand why a vote deferral needs to happen to council. What's the rationale? What's the theory behind it?
Two things, Mr. Chair. We heard a lot of delegations today. We have an opportunity to digest what we heard, but what we also know, and we've had this discussion around this horseshoe before, after a long day of discussions, debates on very important issues should have cooler and prevailing and fresh minds dealing with it. And to have a long day as we have doesn't provide an informed decision. In fact, often falls into discourse, disrespectful discourse. So we have done this many times before, and the lesson we've learned after these kinds of presentations and a long day, that fresh minds are better to address this discussion and debate, and we can push that piece off. It doesn't delay the decision process in any way, because the decision would be at council.
Thank you.
Okay, so if I have still the floor, Madam
You
Chair.
do.
So I'm understanding that we're going to go to presentations right now.
Yeah.
You're going to hold your motion to defer, and we're going to do everything we need to do in terms of questioning our staff and raising points and issues, and then you're going to move a motion. All right, thank you.
Madam Clerk, I'm deferring to you right now.
Councillor Whitehead, you mean the next GIC meeting?
No, council, straight to council. Because I don't want to delay, the next GIC is after council on the 28th, I believe. The council is on the 26th. I don't want to be accused of trying to delay the decision in any way. But the time frame for this one was, we had the GIC today, and that whatever the disposition would be dealt with at council next Wednesday, because it gets formalized then anyway. All I'm suggesting is we move that discussion and vote to that council meeting. So you're not delaying it in any way.
All right, I'm going to move on to 8.